Hi, my name is Jake, and we're going to be talking about the August 2015 Apocabox. The Apocabox is a sort of subscription box that comes out every other month that gears towards people with interest in survival, the apocalypse, or just general bushcraft, outdoors, and camping. It's curated by Creek Stewart, who's a survival expert. You've probably seen him on Fat Guys in the Woods on the Weather Channel. He's got his own training facility in Indiana called Willow Haven Outdoor, or just all over the web where he does all kinds of blog posts, seminars, and teaches you how to do things outdoors in a survival situation. The box is actually curated by Creek Stewart himself. This isn't one of those things where he puts his brand on something that he just likes or something like that. The guy actually picks out the stuff that goes into the box, and his family are the ones that assemble it at his facility in Indiana. So you're actually getting a product that you know has been thought about, approved, and gone through some actual field testing. We're going to go through the August box, which came out a couple weeks ago before this video, and I've had some time to use some of the stuff in it. And this is actually the first Apocabox we're reviewing. I've gotten this a couple times in the past, maybe 5 or 6 at this point, and really enjoyed them. It's one of my favorite things to get in the mail. One of the things that's great about the Apocabox is it doesn't just focus on the sort of like zombie apocalypse, lone wolf survivor. It's things that you're going to need to get through in an emergency or just general day-to-day mishaps. An example of that is the iSHWASH Personal Eye Care System. Now, I've actually tried this a couple times. And it actually works. The water gets into your eyeball and clears out the whole entire thing. So what you do is you just attach it to a water bottle, as you saw in the clip, screw it on and squish the bottle into your eye, and it clears out your eye. Not only is this going to be great in case you're outdoors and something gets in your eye or the end of the world, but you can do this when you're just outside or when you're inside doing chores or anything can get caught in your eye. This is going to fix it. So this is going to go right into my first aid kit. The next item in the box is going to be these Ursa Major face wipes. These are kind of like fancy moist towelettes that you could use to clean off your face, wipe down some of your arms, give yourself a quick bath. Now you might be asking yourself, what are these doing in a sort of a survival box or the Apocabox? Well, if you are outdoors and you want to take a quick clean down, hygiene is actually very important, and these things are going to come in handy. These things are great. I've used them, I've gotten home after a long day at work, wiped off my face. They've got a really nice fresh scent smell. I'm going to put a couple of these in my bug out bag. Some of these are just going to go into my everyday carry bag, and some of these are just going to go right under the sink. Ursa Major is actually kind of a cool company too. They're out of Vermont. I think they're out of Burlington actually. And they're all about like using organic materials, going 100% all natural, that kind of thing. Now, I know those are kind of ambiguous terms, especially when they come to cosmetic supplies, but they seem to be on the up and up, so I approve. The next item is going to be this rubber patch. It says I Heart Knives on it. Every month has had some sort of like sticker or patch that has come into it. The past couple months have all been patches. This is the first rubber patch that actually has a Velcro backing, so you can just go ahead and snap it on your molly gear, snap it on your hat, a book bag, whatever you can get this thing to stick to. A lot of outdoors people are big knife fans. I know I'm starting to become more and more of a knife fan. So this is actually kind of cool, and I actually like the red, white, and blue decal. It looks a little bit like a Major League Sports logo. The next item is this Day Zero Bowmaker's Guide. I gotta say, when I first got this, I was a little, I didn't know what to make of it. It's a hand-drawn book all about like how to make a bow out of things like found materials like wood pallets, how to source rope or string for your bow, how to shoot the bow, but they're all with these sort of like, without being insulting, crude drawings. At first I was kind of suspicious of it. I didn't know what to think of it, like maybe an actual instruction manual would have been better. But I actually kind of like the fact that it's all hand-drawn now. It's grown on me, and it kind of says that anybody can read this and understand the simple drawings. You don't have to have a high education, a low education, be it old, be young. Anybody can use this book. It's a fun bushcraft to do outside, but if you are in a survival situation and you do need to hunt or protect yourself, a bow is going to come in handy. The next thing that came in this month's box is going to be this Paracord pack leash. I guess you could wear it as a bracelet, but most people have been using it on their bug out bags or their EDC to kind of hold on to that extra item that they want hanging on the outside of their back. People can put their cups on there, their pods, just anything you want. What's nice about this too is you can break down the actual cord. It's made of paracord, which you can source for smaller fibers, which have all sorts of survival applications. It's just kind of a nice little piece to go with your pack. So the big item that came with this month's Apocabox is the John Russell sheath knife. Now it's ironic that it's called a sheath knife, is that you actually had to make the sheath yourself. That was this month's Apocabox skill challenge. Each month the Apocabox comes with a skill that tries to teach you via video or simple instruction so that you can actually learn how to do some of these things on your own. So not only is there a fun gift component of this, but there is practical application and things you can do after you've opened your box. I went ahead and made my sheath out of some leather scraps. Fits pretty nicely. Next item is going to be the end of day survival card. It's this little piece of metal, no bigger than a credit card, pretty thin but sturdy. You can actually break this apart and there's all kinds of survival tools in here. There's a saw blade, there's an even smaller saw blade, there's all kinds of fish hooks here. You can make a trident or maybe like a frog gig out of here. There's some needles, all kinds of like arrowheads. So this actually goes great with the bow kit that they came with this month and the bow cord that came in last month's box. You can put this in your wallet. It doesn't take up too much room in your pack, and I've seen people actually putting these inside the little Altoid cans for those mini survival packs. I think this thing is great. This next item is actually kind of fun. It's glow-in-the-dark paracord. It's going to be about 50 feet and 7-strand paracord, which means you can actually take this thing apart and source the individual strands on the inside. We actually stuck this on top of a lamp for about 5 or 10 minutes just to see if it actually would glow, and this sucker really glows, trust me. I think what I'm going to use it for is when I'm camping, I got to do a drawstring. I won't be tripping over it in the middle of the night. So I have to be honest with you, this item gave me a lot of trouble. It's a Speedy Stitcher sewing awl. And for those of us that aren't familiar with sewing machines or just a simple needle and thread, this thing's supposed to make sewing a whole lot easier. People use these on sails, canvas, leather working, and it's a great quick stitch when you're out in the field. I tried it out, I couldn't figure it out. It completely defeated me when I was making my sheath this month. I just went with a simple saddle stitch instead, but this is actually a pretty cool item. Since I used really thick leather, I don't think this thing was going to cut it, so maybe if you use a thinner material like a canvas, it's going to be perfect. So Apocabox has not let me down yet. I've enjoyed every month that I've gotten, this month especially. I think a lot of the items are great. Not only are they going to fit perfect in my bug out bag or my EDC or just in my car or my first aid kit, but I've actually gotten some use out of these items already. And that's the great thing about the Apocabox is everything is balanced very well. It doesn't just focus on the crazy survival guy. It doesn't just focus on the lone wolf gun toter. It doesn't just focus on the mountain man. It covers everyone's bases. It's a lot of fun and I highly recommend it.